What's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. Today we are looking at this 2022 Subaru Crosstrek, and got a hat on today because it is about a bazillion degrees. I know a couple of videos ago it was freezing cold. That's Colorado for you, but today it's a bazillion degrees. Plus, it's kind of an Aussie hat. This used to be an Outback Sport when they first started, Outback Australia. I figure it works. All right, guys, I'm Joel. This is Motors of Mischief, and this is our review on a 2022 Subaru Crosstrek. Let's check it out. All right, so some quick specs for you. This is a 2-liter with the CVT transmission. Now, the only two transmissions that come on this vehicle are either the CVT, which is this has, or the base model, which is a 6-speed stick. I do kind of wish it had the 6-speed stick in it, but this one has the CVT. So if you like not having to shift for yourself, this one is programmed to mimic a regular transmission or a regular automatic transmission, so it does feel like it's got shift points and stuff instead of being in that continuous variable transmission CVT stuff. So we'll check that out when we get when we do the road test. We'll show that to you. You can see how it shifts. But this is the 2-liter, and there is no badging anywhere on this thing that lets you know it is a 2-liter. So I guess if you've got the base model, you don't get to know what kind of engine it is. In fact, the only way I could figure it out, we checked under the hood. Usually there's a sticker underneath there, something you can decode. We checked everywhere, and the only way we found out what for sure that it was the base model is we actually had to decode the VIN. And in the VIN, it'll tell you that it's the 2-liter. So there is a 2.5 that's available. The 2-liter has 152 horsepower, and the 2.5 liter has 30 more. It's got 182. And this one's actually pretty quick. Like I said, when we get it out in the drive, you guys will be able to see, but it's pretty cool. No turbo though, no turbo option available, which is kind of surprising. I know pretty much everything Audi makes and a lot of the other 2-liter European stuff, it's got turbos on everything, but apparently Subaru wants to keep the turbos for the WRX, unless you get an Outback XT, and we'll talk a little bit about those later. We got maybe a little surprise for you guys who are followers of the channel. Anyway, back to this thing. We walked around it once, but we'll go around it again here. This one's white, and 17-inch alloy wheels are standard on these things. And let's see, it also is got EyeSight as standard equipment, which EyeSight is the Subaru, that's their name for their nanny stuff, their safety features. In this, it's lane keeping assist, and it's got the radar cruise control so that it'll follow the car. Okay, to continue with those standard features, pulled up the information directly from Subaru here. So base model, this one started 23,000, which is not too bad. And it's EPA rated at 33 highway and 28 city, which is darn good, especially with all the nonsense that's going on with the fuel prices right now. Let's see, you also get Starlink, which is Subaru's multimedia entertainment. It's got Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. And then this one has an 8.7-inch touchscreen as standard. So I know a couple of years ago that I think it was like 6.5 was the standard screen and the 8.7 was an option. Now that's standard. EyeSight, again, is standard if you get the CVT and 17-inch wheels. So that is the list from Subaru on what the cool stuff that comes with the base model is. Now this one does have a few options. It's got that sunroof, it's got heated seats, and some other stuff. We'll check that out. We'll climb inside here and see what the inside looks like. Okay, before we dive inside and take a look at what's going on inside there, let's give you a little bit of history on these things. You know that we do like to do that on this channel. So this Crosstrek is actually a Outback Sport. Then in the first generation of the Crosstrek, which was 2013, they got their own model. At least here in North America. I know they call it something else in the rest of the world, but here in North America we call it a Crosstrek. So The first version that was still built on the Impreza platform was from 2013 to 2017. And then the second gen, which is what this is, went from 2018 to present. And there was actually a facelift on these things in 2021. So this is a 2022, so it's got that facelift on there. And if you like the looks of that, then you can pick them up 21 and 22. And that's a little bit of history on where this thing came from. So now let's open everything up and check out the doors. And man, it is hot. It's like 99 degrees outside here. So that's why we got the windows open on this thing. So we'll go ahead and open everything up and show you what the inside looks like. All right, so we got all the doors and open on this thing, so you can kind of see. Let's go ahead and start at the back since we're already back here. This is how much cargo space you've got. Go ahead and adjust camera. There we go. It doesn't look too bad to me, although when I asked this, my dad's actually driving this, and when I asked him about what he thought about it, first thing he said was that the trunk was too small to fit anything in. So if you like a big trunk, I don't think you're going to love this, but the Crosstrek is downsized from the Outback, so if you want the really big trunk, then just, you know, definitely, or hatch, go with the Outback wagon. But I don't know, that seems pretty good. I can fit my dog back there, so that would be pretty nice. Comes with this mat back here, and it's got a lot of plastic. There's carpet on this. It does have the tethers for the baby seat, and this does appear to be a, yep, it's a 60-40 split bench, which is great. That means you can lay these down and then put larger items in the back here. That is a huge utility addition to these things. Anytime you get a sedan or a wagon and the seats fold down, it's night and day better than if you got one where the seats don't fold down. So glad to see that. Go around to the side here. This has got these back doors open nice and wide, and you do have 3 cross seating there. You're definitely not fitting anybody large in that center space. I don't know what that's all about. We'll fix that for them. But you guys who are familiar with the channel know I am 6'5". Let's go ahead and take a seat in the back of this thing. See if we can even fit. And yeah, that's actually not too bad. I mean, my feet are touching. My knees are touching. Feet are always touching. My knees are touching, but I mean, my knees are always touching and everything. So I got my hat on, and it doesn't touch on the roof, so that's pretty good. And it's actually, I don't know, if I sit upright, my knees are not really touching. So it's actually not too bad back here. I'm actually kind of surprised. I didn't think I was going to fit. And as you can see, this seat is all the way back. This one's actually up where my dad's been driving it. He's 6'1". So clearly my mom was living a good life here with this pushed all the way back. So I think I could actually even get a little bit more room out of here. So good job, Subaru. I'm quite impressed. That was not what I was expecting. So pretty decent room back here. Going up to the front, the seats, they're like neoprene, and it's got a different texture in the center here. I like the stitching. That's pretty cool. It's even got that, it's following that stitching through on the dash here, which is pretty neat. So that's a nice contrast. I like that. So okay, I am now sitting in the passenger seat, and I can see why my mom's got the seat all the way back. She's got pretty long legs, and the way this glove box comes down, she probably needs that so her knees aren't sitting against it. So you can see they've got this glove box thing right here. It's not intruding over there. It's all nice and clean, but look, I don't know, that's, if you line that up, it would be about right there to line up with this. So that's why she's got this seat so far back. So definite bonus points, Subaru, for what you did in the back. We're gonna have to give you demerit for the front here, because that's dumb. I guess somebody with smaller or shorter legs wouldn't have any problem, and you could pull this seat forward, and then you'd have the best of both worlds, which is, to be fair, probably fine, because most people aren't 6'5" like me. But if you are 6'5" and you expect to fit taller people in the back, it's not going to happen if you're not driving. So definitely keep that in mind. Let's see, here inside we've got the that's that 8.7-inch touchscreen, and of course they measure that diagonal, so that's where that is. And we'll check out some more of this when we're driving. But there's the steering wheel, all of the controls. That is a lot. And the car knows that we got all the doors open, which is cool. We do have heated seats and X mode, which I guess is a four-wheel drive mode. Should look that up. Got some cup holders right here. Got another cup holder right here, but it's actually just a bottle holder because it said don't put cups in it. I can tell you can put cups in those things, just don't forget that they're there and slam the door, then it makes a big mess. But it looks like that's it as far as cup holders go. So it does have keyless start stop, so we got a button there. Oh, and we got a wasp. And he left, so that's good. If I recall correctly, we'll look from the outside. I believe the EyeSight cameras are under here. The EyeSight uses 2 cameras. I think they're inside right there. So also we've got, this is actually something that I always like to check. So if you pull that out, and then you got the little slide out thing. So that's super cool. All right, guys, what else do you want to know? I think that's pretty much everything on the inside here. So let's pop the hood and we'll take a look at that 2-liter motor, and then I think we'll take it out for a drive. Thanks. Had to get my daddy to come open the hood for me because I couldn't figure out where it was. But here's our 2-liter. Of course, it's a Boxster motor, so tons of room in here. And there are all kinds of numbers and data tags and all kinds of stuff on this engine, and none of them tell you what size it is. But I did notice something cool. Is look where the oil filter is. Look, see if I can get out of the light for you. Look where the oil filter is. That will be super easy to change. So if you like to do your own maintenance, you can get to that really easy. Now this is a direct injection 2-liter Boxster 4-cylinder. Again, it's putting out 152 horsepower. My dad says it's pretty quick. We will take it out and see what it is, see how it goes. I know with the direct injection vehicles, I had a direct injection Audi back in, it was a 2007 when Audi had first come out with direct injection. Direct injection is super cool for gas mileage. It's awesome for that, and that's probably why this thing's getting as high a gas mileage as it is. The problem is, though, is without any kind of port injection, we've got no fuel going over the valves. Those valves get coked up like you would not believe. In fact, that's the main reason I got rid of my Audi, is because it had like every year I'd have to take it in or take it apart myself and clean all of the carbon off of the intake runners. So I haven't heard a tremendous problem with these things. So if you have one and you know, please comment below, let everybody else know if there's a problem with that carbon buildup on these. I can't imagine that there wouldn't be, because there's nothing to clean those valves off. Then if that is an issue, the way that you can get around that is to put a catch can on these things. So basically, and we'll have a future episode on that, because we're putting a catch can on our Honda CR-V that subscribers to the channel will be familiar with. That will eliminate that problem. So everybody comment below and we'll see what the consensus is on that. All right, but there's that motor. All right, guys, I think it's time to take this thing for a drive, see how we like it. Turn the air conditioning on. Okay, like I mentioned, we've got touch start. So we'll go ahead and fire this thing up. And we're gonna get the air conditioning blasting to cool things down here. Then we'll turn it off so you guys don't have to listen to the fan. So we'll go ahead and get out on the highway, and then we'll turn the air conditioning down. We do have backup camera, which is pretty cool. Whenever I have a rental car, I always forget to check for a backup camera because I don't have one. Now I'm looking over my shoulder and I don't realize there's a backup camera. So sometimes I'll drive it for days without realizing it's got that. And that beep you're hearing is because it's really unhappy that I don't have my seatbelt on, which is good. All right, we're gonna get out on the highway, let this thing cool down with the AC, and we'll be back. All right, so we are going over to a high-speed road nearby so we can check on takeoff and what kind of power pickup this thing's got. But I thought I would look up the X mode for you guys so that we can talk about what it is. X mode is basically a enhanced all-wheel drive mode. So this thing's got all-wheel drive all the time, and so you don't ever have to worry about shifting it. But when you are off-road and you're having a problem, you can hit that X mode and it lowers throttle response, it keeps the vehicle in a lower gear, turns on the limited slip differential sooner, and basically does everything it can to help get you out of the mud or the snow where you got stuck. This is single mode. The sports have a dual mode option, which gives you even more control. All right, we're about to make the turn here on our high-speed road, and we're taking off. See that right here, that CVT transmission, pretending it's a regular transmission. So that wasn't great. It wasn't terrible. It's certainly been in worse, but it took a long time to get up to speed here. So I can tell you this 2-liter motor is very torquey around town. It actually felt a lot peppier. It actually felt a lot peppier as we were leaving the neighborhood. Didn't really notice that it was underpowered until we got up here on the high-speed road and tried to run it up to 60 miles an hour, and it took it a little longer than I would have liked. This thing could definitely use a turbo. I don't know why Subaru hasn't put turbo on it, but they do have that 2.5 option. 30 more horsepower would definitely help. So if you want more power, then definitely do the 2.5. So if you want more power, definitely do the 2.5. It's got a firm ride. We always talk about the ride on stuff here. It's not bad. It's definitely not cushy, but I don't think you would want your Crosstrek, which is, you know, off-road leaning vehicle, to have a super cushy ride. But it's not uncomfortable. We've hit a couple potholes, definitely noticed that we hit those, but not bad. So it's pretty good, all in all. Pops, you've been driving this thing for a while. What would you say? What's your opinion of it?
Well, like you mentioned, it's got good low speed gain. In other words, as you're driving around under 50 miles an hour, it seems to have quite a bit of pep. After you get above 50 miles an hour, it's like it kind of runs out of horsepower, because apparently it does. And as we saw on that acceleration, we got up to 50 pretty quick, but boy, getting to 60 was probably way more effort than we think that it should have had. Driver feel, it's very responsive. Steering is great. Trying to avoid anything or whip around something doesn't seem to be any problem. It seems to hold the road extremely well. Even on some of those turns, I took a little faster than I should have when I was coming over here. But I do think that if I had the 2.5-liter engine, I'd be happier with the vehicle.
All right, that's good. Yeah. Thanks, Dad. That's great. Yeah, so he normally drives a Subaru Outback XT, which is the turbocharged one, and that's what I was alluding to at the beginning of the video. We're going to actually be, he just got it, we're going to be doing a review on that. So he's used to a bit more power than what this thing's putting out, actually 100 more horsepower. So it'll be very cool to check that out. So anyway, we are going to go ahead and take this thing back, but you heard my dad. It's actually, this is nice. I would not be unhappy to have this vehicle. It's not a bad vehicle at all, especially considering that base price. So we're going to drive around a little bit more and take it back, and we'll meet you back at the house. All right, guys, we are back at the house. So this is wrapping up our 2022 Subaru Crosstrek review. I'm going to say it's a darn fine car. I like this thing. It's pretty cool. You know, if I was in the market for something like this, if I needed good gas mileage, commuter vehicle, definitely would consider it. Probably go with the 2.5 though, just like my dad was saying. I think it is definitely underpowered. Either that, or if somebody's got an aftermarket turbo for these things, that definitely might be worth installing. So unfortunately we're not buying this, so we will not be putting a turbo on it on the channel. But yeah, for those of you who are Subaru fans, I don't think you can go wrong with this thing. It's pretty darn cool. If you're not a Subaru fan and you're considering it, I think it's definitely worth checking out. If this little fella checks all the boxes for you, it's pretty cool. Lane keeping assist, not a big fan. I personally perfectly capable of keeping my vehicle in its own lane, and lots of times I end up fighting these things for which lane we're supposed to be in. I use my turn signals all the time. If you don't, it definitely will fight you on that, so be aware of that. I don't believe there's any way to shut that off. Again, if you have one and you know that there is, feel free to comment below. But and then the cruise control, that is pretty cool, because then you can just set your cruise control on the person in front of you, and it will keep distance there. If somebody moves between you and the car in front of you, it'll actually slow down, and then it'll re-engage and keep you at that speed. So that's pretty cool. So anyway, guys, that's it. We'll give it 2 thumbs up. It's a pretty cool vehicle. We like it. So hopefully you enjoyed this review. Check out the channel. We got all kinds of stuff going on. We do have merch, link in the description below if you want to check out some cool t-shirts. And yeah, that's it. Thanks so much. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you're interested. All right, guys. Peace. Schmutz on the screen. This one. Shoot. This one's got some leaves in it, no extra charge.